Good morning. I hope that as you are coming in, you had an opportunity to enjoy the photos and video put together by Alan March, a member of our congregation, of course, and also of our climate justice team. If you didn't, we should send out the link in our Tuesday email so that, because it's on YouTube and you can find it and it's wonderful. It is a joy to be together with you today at the United Church of Gainesville, where whoever you are and wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here. My name is Bromley McClenaghan, and I am one of the ministers here at UCG. Our other full-time minister, the Reverend Talia Raymond, is in the back, but will very shortly be with our confirmation class. Those 12 or so middle and early high schoolers will be confirmed on May 12th, and that is always an exciting time in the life of our congregation as those young people step into full adult membership in the life of the church. We have a number of announcements before us. This is a busy day at UCG. And so I invite you to take some time with your bulletin. The announcements are printed in the back. There is a Sunday seminar on environmental conservation, the Adventures of the Golden Lion Tamarin, which will be led by Christine Engels, who has been working on and studying the Golden Lion Tamarin for quite a long time. You'll note in the courtyard after worship, both a table sponsored by the Racial Justice Committee, which is selling Black History Matters t-shirts. I also saw stickers around banned books, so please do go check out that table. There is also a sign up for UCG 101, which is our Get to Know UCG for those considering church membership. It is rescheduled for this Tuesday at 5:30 in the West Wing. There is a sign up to our RSVP, and that is always so helpful to us to know that you are coming. You can also let us know if you need childcare. Next Sunday is our annual Noodles and Doodles fundraiser in the evening at 5:30 p.m. This is an important fundraiser to support our Youth United Summer Work Tour. And during that time, we share pasta dinner, noodles, and also sell art. It is a fundraiser because most of our art, almost all of the art, is donated. So if you have art sitting around your house, either that you have created or that no longer has a place in your current decor and you want it to find a loving home or serve a good purpose, you can donate it here, preferably by Wednesday. Today is our Earth Day celebration, and we welcome two special speakers this morning. Aaron Broadwell, who is a professor of anthropology and the chair of the Department of Linguistics at the University of Florida. He has a PhD in linguistics and has been at UF for a number of years. He will be talking to us today, speaking with us, but also, right before he speaks, we'll have read our welcome statement, which is part of our bulletin, which names the ancestral people of this land, and he helped us write, so that's very fitting. Our second speaker is Ellen Siegel, who is currently a climate speaker specialist with the CLEO Institute, which is Climate Leadership Engagement Opportunities. The CLEO Institute started in Miami and has been spreading statewide. Ellen is bringing it to Gainesville, and if you've participated in any of the Earth Week celebrations this week, you know Ellen. She is what some folks call a connector. She brings people together and helps get things done. We are so grateful to have both of them here with us today. We are also grateful to have the Jazz Bandits, who always provide wonderful music when they are with us. And today they are offering a an original composition of sorts. You will recognize the tune of Fever. I think they've actually done it here at UCG before, but today there are climate change relevant lyrics penned by our own Jim Harper. This day is a wonderful time and opportunity for collaboration, and again, it is a joy to have you with us. One last announcement. Over the last few weeks, we have been having a lot of conversation about how things work at UCG, how things happen, and we have had a number of questions about the staffing restructuring process that we have received, and so we hope that our printer will cooperate and we'll have a whole letter that you can take with you at the end of the worship service. Oh, it is there. Oh! On the credenza in the narthex. But a number of our leaders have worked together to invite a facilitator to come and lead a town hall meeting on Sunday, May 5th at sometime between 6:30 and 8:30. We are finalizing the time with Tricia Backus, who will be our moderator for the evening. So please do mark your calendars, pick up extra details, and and plan to be with us. I believe those are the many, many announcements for this day. It is a joy to be with you, and I invite the Jazz Bandits forward to lead us into our time of worship.
Say it's only a paper moon sailing over a cardboard sea, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Yes, it's only a canvas sky hanging over a muslin tree, but it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played in a penny arcade. It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. say it's only a paper moon sailing over a cardboard sea. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Yes, it's only a canvas sky hanging over a muslin tree. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played in a penny arcade. It's a Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. If you believed in me. If you believed in me.
Good morning. Can you hear me? I invite you to stand as you are able and join me in the reading of the call to worship, responsive reading by Mary Oliver, who often accompanies me with my morning coffee. I would say that there exist 1,000 unbreakable links between each of us and everything else, and that our dignity and our chances are one. The farthest star and the mud at our feet are a family, and there is no decency or sense in honoring one thing or a few things and then closing the list. The pine tree, the leopard, the Platte River, and ourselves, we are at risk together. Or we are on our way to a sustainable world together. We are each other's destiny.
We are each other's destiny, bound together in a single garment of life. And so it is right and good that we should share our prayers together, our joys and our concerns. We are giving thanks today for a successful shoulder surgery for Betsy Harris. She is home. She is experiencing no pain and only mild annoyance that she can't use one of her hands. We continue to pray for a smooth and swift recovery. We are celebrating with Liz McCullough, who welcomes a new granddaughter, Elizabeth, born April 18th in South Sudan, to her son, Eric, who died in October, and his girlfriend, Margaret. This is a great joy. Elizabeth and her mother, Margaret, are both experiencing complications, and we continue to pray not just for this joy, but for health and healing for them. We rejoice with Glenn Acom and Kristen Larson that Glenn is home from the hospital following complications of his cancer treatment. We pray for continued recovery. We give thanks for the work of our congregational renewal group, who has planned wonderful summer programming for you together while I am on sabbatical. You'll see a full and lovely list of those offerings coming soon, but we have completed our work, which means no more 8 a.m. Thursday meetings. We give thanks and praise. We also express appreciation in our prayers for our Justice League interns, Laura Thomas and Noah Benucci, for all their work this semester, and for all those UCGers who mentored them or shared their time. This was the first time we've had a committee that has had interns from UF, and we all learned a lot about assigning tasks and growing together, but it was a wonderful joy to be in relationship with them. And as we did our sort of closing meeting this week as their site supervisor, they had a wonderful experience with us. And it's always so nice when we can sort of show young folks what a church can be and do. We also celebrate the wedding of Sylvia Van Boskirk and Donald Stowell Moore in our sanctuary on Friday night. Donald is a long-serving and beloved childcare aide at UCG. None of us quite knew he was old enough to be married, but we are delighted and grateful. He is. But we are celebrating with them. We pray healing for Wayne Raymond, who is still in the hospital, awaiting test results following a cardiac episode. Please keep Wayne and Sherry and, of course, Talia and their families in your prayers. Finally, we pray for peace in Israel, Gaza, Iran, in Ukraine, throughout the world, all places that need and long for peace. Will you breathe in the silence of this moment? And join your hearts with mine in prayer. In the trees, O God, you linger, with branches like arms outstretched in prayer. They invite, they host, they bear witness, they create. Generations come and go, but still they remain with such knowing, such history, such wisdom in their flesh. The holy in them, as it often does, requires a disruption of ordinary ways of perceiving, or else it goes unnoticed. Through their testimonies, you teach us about growing in every direction, about becoming sources of home, about resilience and resurrection and beauty across stages of life. You and the trees, O God, both sources of our life breath, make us fierce protectors of these sage companions and the sacred flesh of all the earth. Amen. I invite you to rise as you are able in body or in spirit and join in singing our opening hymn. You can find it in the Black UCC hymnal. It's number 28.
Good morning. Let's see if I can get my mic going. Okay, I'm gonna sit right there. Yes, good morning. I'd like to invite all the children to come forward for a little story, so please come on down. If you're young or young at heart, you're welcome. Have a seat right up here. Good morning. Welcome. Hi. Let's see, let me get a seat right in the middle. Come on down. Okay. So, my name is Mr. Jim, and I'm going to tell you a little story this morning. And it's actually a true story. I call this story the Easter Surprise. And you're going to help me out a little bit during this story because there's lots of surprising moments. And so whenever I say the word surprise, I want you to scream, surprise! All right, can we practice that? So I'm going to say the word, and if it's too loud, yeah, you can cover your ears. Surprise! Surprise! Okay, good. I think you know how to play this game. All right, so I said that this was a true story, and it's actually like an Easter story. So you remember your Easter egg hunt from just a few weeks ago? Yeah, that was fun, right? I wonder how you felt when you found those eggs. Did you feel excited? Did you feel like it was a surprise? Surprise! Yeah, thank you, yeah.
I knew there was sticky hands in one of them.
Yeah? You did feel a little bit of a surprise?
Surprise!
Okay, good. Well, I have one more question for you, and my question is, what's in your backyard or in your friend's backyard at their houses? Do they have trees? Do they have chairs?
I don't have a backyard.
You don't have one?
Yeah, because I'm in an apartment.
In an apartment, okay. And have you been to a friend's house that has a backyard?
Not yet, but I did a long time ago.
Okay, well, we can work on that. Well, in my backyard, I have a surprise.
Surprise!
It is a little hen house. So I have a chicken coop, and inside the chicken coop are chickens, right? So they're hens. Oh, yes, and they lay eggs. Yeah, can you hold this one for me? Yeah, you can hold this.
It's not a real egg.
And this, yeah, can you hold it for me? Yeah. So in the morning, I go out to the hen house, and I look at my hens, and I say good morning to them. And you know what's a really interesting thing about chickens? Is that they lay eggs like this. And they're also little tiny dinosaurs. Did you know that?
No.
Some of you like dinosaurs, right? Well, chickens are tiny dinosaurs. Is that a surprise? Yeah, I think so. So, one day I went out to see my little dinosaurs in the hen house, and one of them had sat down on her eggs. She became broody, which means she wanted to become a mama chicken. She wanted to have babies. But there was a problem because these eggs were not ready to become babies, okay? They didn't have a rooster, and so there's the rooster right there. What did I do? What could I do for this poor mother hen? She wanted to have babies. Well, I went on an adventure to a magical land called Ocala. Yeah.
It's like because it's a cross.
It's magical. Now that's a surprise.
It's like because it's a cross between chicken and planet.
It's a cross between chickens and a planet?
Yeah.
Oh, you see my planet. It's almost like an egg. So there I bought some eggs from a good witch who had the rooster in her backyard along with the hens. And so I took those eggs that I bought that were ready to become babies, and I put them underneath the hen. So can you take your hen and have her sit on the egg? She needs to sit on the egg. So this hen, her name, by the way, is Anne Boleyn. So Anne sat on her eggs.
We need this rooster to make the
And she sat. Here's the rooster. Yeah. She sat and sat. And so right before Easter, I went out Friday to look at Anne, and I looked and I saw the 5 eggs, and there was nothing there but just the eggs. And then I went on Saturday, I looked again. Just the eggs. And then on Easter morning, I went and I got A surprise. Thank you.
I was like, surprise!
But at first I was a little upset because I saw a broken egg.
Oh, gosh.
Why was there a broken egg there?
Because the baby came out.
Because the baby came out. There was a baby chick. Yeah.
It wobbled a lot.
Wow. And how do you think I felt? I felt a surprise. All right. If you could put the hens back in the hen house along with the egg.
I thought you would get a boy. I think you should. You need a boy.
I know, right?
Baby.
So we're going to put them back in the hen house. I have one more surprise for you. It's in here. So if you promise to be good, I'm going to show you the chickens. I'm going to show you the baby chicks. I brought them. Okay, so yes, you may.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm going to bring them outside and we can see them again. I think they're getting a little upset, so I'm going to hide them now. And I'm going to take them outside, okay? So we can see them again.
I haven't got to say.
I know, and then you can touch it.
Can I keep a chicken?
Okay.
No.
Sorry, parents.
Come on.
So, we just celebrated the chick's birthday, so now what do we do?
You go to Disney.
I think I earned it.
Go back to Ocala.
We're going to do the humans' birthdays. So the humans have birthdays. So can you all listen to me for a second? Thank you. You enjoyed that, didn't you? Does anyone here have a birthday today or this week? And if you do, tell me your name.
My name is Owen.
Owen? Owen. Okay, it's your birthday this week?
Yeah, it's today.
Today is your birthday. Okay, Owen. Please, yeah, stand up.
There's Owen.
All right. So we're going to ask on the south side, are there any birthdays today or this week that we could celebrate? Shout out your name. Pepper. Any others? Okay, on the north side. Here. Bonnie. Bonnie and Juniper. Oh, we got one more? John. And John. Stay standing, please. Okay. So remember all the names we're going to sing for Owen, Pepper, Bonnie, Juniper, and John.
And the chickens.
And the chickens.
No way I can top that. That was wonderful. Thanks, Jim. This church is independent in spirit and congregational in organization, welcoming into its fellowship persons embodying a wide range of religious convictions. We honor the Temuka Seminole, Timucua, I keep mispronouncing that one, Seminole and all other native people who lived on this land and cared for it long before us. The church values the human diversity in each individual brings to the congregation, including racial identity, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identity and expression, disability, and religious background.
Good morning. So in my remarks this morning, I wanted to focus on local remembrance. It's important to those of us who live here in North Florida and also people who might live across the border in southern Georgia. That's the native people of our region, the Timucua. As some of you may know from the introduction, I spent a lot of years studying the Timucua language and history, and I'm continuing to be fascinated by the rich culture of the First Nations of this part of the world. So a little bit of background on that. Timucua is a word that European people use to describe a group of people who lived right here at the time of European contact. There were maybe 100,000 or 200,000 Timucua in the late 16th century when the Spanish first came here. They were not a politically unified group, but they were organized into different chiefdoms, some of which were in conflict with each other. The name Timucua comes from one of those chiefdoms, but different regional groups had different names. The group that lived here in Alachua County were called the Potano. We call them by a single word Timucua, since they all spoke the same language and many aspects of their culture were pretty similar across our region. But because it can be hard to envision what things were like here 400 years ago, I'm going to show you some images of local native people. So look at this amazing image here. A few words about where this came from. So there was a French expedition to the coast of Florida, roughly in the Jacksonville area, in 1564. It was led by a Frenchman named Laudonnière. And along with Laudonnière's company, there was an artist named Jacques Lemoyne. And Jacques Lemoyne made sketches of what he saw, including lots of images of Timucua people, like this one right here. So these sketches made their way back to Europe, and eventually there was an engraver named Theodore de Bry, and he used them in a very popular book about Florida and Native Americans. And so these are some of the first images of local Native Americans that Europeans ever saw. Now, we have to look at these images carefully because de Bry took a lot of liberties with the images. He had never seen these people himself. He was working from the sketches of another artist. And also, he put in a lot of details that were probably just there to please European buyers. But what a remarkable thing to have these images of local European people. What's going on here in this particular image is a local chief named Saturia is addressing the other warriors in his tribe. He's telling them about an oncoming war. So we've got some other images of Timucua people hunting for deer, for example, is in this scene. Okay, I'll give you a second to look at that. Isn't that remarkable? So what's going on here is the warriors there, you can see have their bows and arrows, right? And they are dressed in the skins of local deer, creeping up on them from the other side of the stream, which is speaking to an intimate local knowledge that the people who had here about the local flora and fauna, right? How to hunt, how to approach them cautiously without sparking panic. And we also have images of them gathering the harvest, as in this scene. So here what we see is people with baskets. They're going around and they're picking up things that have been planted. An interesting thing about this image as well is most of the people in the image are women, bare-chested women, but also the person you can see in the front, who's bent over sort of like this was a transgender person. The Timucua people had 3 genders, traditional male and female, as well as a third gender, and some of these images show us third gender people, and here the third gender person is engaged in helping with the harvest. So the Timucua were stewards of this beautiful land that we live on in North Florida for thousands of years before the Spanish arrived. In the land acknowledgement that we just heard, we pay respect to their memory and also take them as an inspiration for sustainable living here in Gainesville. I don't want to present an overly romantic view of the past and suggest to you that the Timucua were sort of eco-utopians, that they did everything right. Like all people who have lived here on the local land, they've probably done wise things and foolish things. But at the same time, they were keenly aware of their environment and of the need to preserve the environments of the fish, birds, animals that they depended on. They were the original locavores. Everything they ate came from the local area. So they ate what grows here, and they weren't dependent on imported fuel or food. They were not always completely successful because we know that sometimes there were famines and crop failures for them, just as there are today. But despite these hardships, the local people lived here sustainably for thousands of years before the Europeans, and that ought to be an inspiration to us. There are very few known descendants of the Timucua now, a very sad thing, none living in our regions to the best that we know. That's because the reduced native population here was dispersed at the end of the Spanish colonial period. We're not sure, but we think some of the Timucua descendants intermarried with other native groups like the Seminole. Others were taken away with the Spanish to Cuba when Florida was lost to the Spanish in 1763. So while native people are primarily a memory for us here in this region, I think that we do want to acknowledge their original stewardship of this land and to say that their memory is an inspiration to us. Learning about their culture, their history, and their lives is an appropriate and necessary kind of acknowledgement during this Earth Day celebration.
Jim Parker for these lyrics, and the chorus, and apologies to Jim, because the chorus is a little changed, but the verses are what you have in your program. Captain Kirk and Miss Uhuru had a kiss that really shocked. Maybe they can send the starship, save us from this burning rock. Oil gives us fever. When we burn it, a natural gas flares bright. Fever! We'll be mourning when it's too late to get it right. Feels like we're inside an oven. Feels like we made a mistake. Stop the fossil fuels from burning, 'cause they're gonna make us shake and bake. Oil gives us fever. When we burn it, natural gas flares bright. Fever! We'll be mourning when it's too late to get it right. Everyone will feel the fever. That is something you all know. Climate change is not a new thing, but we've accelerated so. Mother Nature's got fever coming from fast climate change. When the fossil fuel is burning, everybody gets deranged. Oil gives us fever. When we burn it, a natural gas flares bright. Fever! We'll be mourning when it's too late to get it right. Can we stop the whole earth burning? Can we choose a cooler way? Yes, we have to make some changes, 'cause climate change is here today. Oil gives us fever. When we burn it, natural gas flares bright. Fever! We'll be mourning when it's too late to get it right. 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 Fever.
To bring you back to earth, the reading is by Japanese poet Kobayashi Issa. What a strange thing to be alive beneath cherry blossoms, a world of grief and pain. But the flowers bloom even then.
Reverend Bromley, I'm taking one extra minute because I have got to tell you how absolutely thrilled I am to be here, and what an amazing congregation you are, and what amazing service this is. I just read that the average American laughs 17 times a day. I think I have blown my week's worth of laughter today, and also had my heart touched. So, goodness gracious, I don't think there's anything funny in my little sermonette today, because I'm accustomed to services being somewhat solemn. So you saw in the bulletin that the title of this is From Redemption to Responsibility for Renewal, Answering the Call for Climate Action. And it is true that I sold a home and a business in Miami after 44 years and decided that my mission now in my third act is doing something to cool our fevered planet. And I wonder if the gentleman has any more flash paper in his pocket. I've got to talk to you about where you get that. So just like Jim did surprise, when I say fevered, maybe you would flash it. Oh, so you are laughing. Okay. Your invitation to address this amazing congregation today came at a serendipitous time for me. I'd like to explore those themes I mentioned for this short sermon with you, and I'd like to set the tone together. So I invite you to close your eyes. And can you recall a moment when you felt a divine connection? Perhaps it was in nature or with another person. Perhaps it felt like redemption from something. Take another moment and take a deep breath into that memory. Okay, now this is tricky because I have a time limit, so do you. You each get 30 seconds. So if you're in a first row, third row, fifth row, etc.,
turn around and speak to the person behind you. And if there's no one behind you, please figure it out. I want to give you a chance to share that vision, that memory with someone. Okay, go. I'm timing. I will call the 30 seconds. Figure it out. Figure it out. Okay, switch people. Let your neighbor have a turn. You're done? Okay, well done. Well done. Thank you. Okay, so I have, yes, I know. It's always, I know, it is. It's always tricky. But I built the time in, Reverend Brumley. I did. I totally timed this. Okay, raise your hand. Who had their connection occur somewhere in nature? Just, wow. How about a connection in relation with another person? How about from something else I didn't think of? Thank you. Hold your feeling. For me, that feeling of divine intervention was a result of apparently random experiences. First, in February, I joined the CLEO Institute, Climate Leadership Engagement Opportunities. Our mission is to bring the climate conversation into every living room in Florida. And my job is to bring it to living rooms here in Gainesville, in Alachua County. And my plan always was, because I'd been doing it as a volunteer before I got hired, was to network with faith communities. And UCG has been an amazing partner in the last 4 years. It's just getting bigger now, so now you hear of it. So I'm hoping that my synagogue, Shir Shalom, will grow as strong as this congregation, because you are in this county, as I am aware, of all the seedlings doing this work, you are the tallest and strongest of those sprouts. So that was my first thing. Yes, good for you. Yes, celebrate. So that was the first thing that happened. The next thing that happened was I happened to experience the Jesus Christ Superstar musical. I have been mulling over my reaction to that story and the multitude of passions unleashed within it since I saw the show. And the last thing that happened was a random Facebook post, and I don't go on Facebook much, beckoning readers to a sunrise service on Lake Santa Fe on Easter morning. Perfect, I thought, it's coming together. And as I worshiped with the other folks who also woke up before dawn, hugging mugs of coffee in the chilly morning, I was moved by the idea repeated in the song that opened the service, and that phrase was resurrection power. What did that mean? And then as the sky lightened perceptibly and the sun slowly broke through what was a misty, cloudy cover, I could feel it, the power of a resurrection. And as the pastor, Myra Carr, a Methodist minister from Williston, as she preached, I could see a slate of sins wiped clean, and I got a glimmer of understanding of the crucifixion and the resurrection. While my own Jewish tradition offers a different perspective, I found resonance in the concept of redemption and then renewal, akin to the spirit of Yom Kippur in Judaism, because both of our traditions offer an opportunity for a fresh start, Both teach that God understands our frailty of our nature and our need for divine mercy and understanding when we fall short. So then, reflecting on my experiences as a climate communicator, I sought inspiration from a few sources. One was the Bible, Old Testament, sorry. Climate action work can be very uplifting, and it can be very discouraging or even downright depressing. And I know that the antidote to despair is taking action and taking some small part of responsibility for fixing the problem. So, Isaiah, I read, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." What a great image. And Jeremiah, who's tough, he speaks to the relationship between us and the land. "I brought you into a fertile land to eat its fruit and rich produce, but you came and you defiled my land and made my inheritance detestable." Our climate crisis is caused by our collective sins, collective, business, government, and individuals, against our land, our air, our sea, and our fellow humans. So just as we are called to repent and repair our precious planet, we have a responsibility to care about those who follow us, just as our forebears planned for our care. So drawing parallels between biblical teachings and modern day advocacy, I also find inspiration from contemporary figures. So last week, Al Gore was quoted in the New York Times. He was addressing new climate leader trainees, and he said, "We don't have just one David. We have 3,000 Davids here in New York at this training, and there are millions around the world. If you look at all the groups that are doing this work, it is the largest grassroots movement in the entire history of the world, and it continues to build, and we are part of it." So, yeah. I draw an analogy between this movement, this is still Al Gore speaking, I draw an analogy between this movement and the abolitionists, women's suffrage, civil rights, gay marriage. With all of these movements, when the central issue was really crystallized as a choice between unjust and wrong and deadly and dangerous, then the outcomes are foreordained. We really and truly have a capacity to rise above those limitations, and the ability of the special interests, in this case, our fossil fuel polluters, they dominate our laws and policies, that is going to come to an end. So can you see where my little sermon is going? Yeah. From reliving our connection to the divine in whatever form it takes, to recognizing we have messed up and we will mess up. We make mistakes. To the existence of redemption and a chance to do over, we can draw on our respective faiths, and we can do this. We have the technology, we have the money, and we have this growing number of activists advocating for change. It's imperative that we impact big business and government to follow us. So the path to healing the planet is clear. By the way, I loved your new words, Jim. I would like a copy of those for fever. Thank you. If we heed the call to keep coal, oil, and methane gas in the ground, if we incentivize clean energy, if we attend to environmental justice for all people, and we utilize natural carbon solutions, we can cool our fevered planet. He's out of flash, okay. So, in closing, can you close your eyes again? Can you just imagine a world no longer on fire? That's good, we're out of flash paper. A world no longer on fire, with clean air, clean water, clean dwellings, good food, peace in the troubled places, where young people can live their lives. Can you imagine that? How would you feel if you knew you were part of making this happen? Don't answer, I'm out of time. I have one more thing. So if you are seeking guidance on how to contribute, consider, of course, becoming part of your creation justice team here at your church. Consider getting on the Clio Institute mailing list, and in the back, I've put out a blue folder with sign-up sheet and my business cards. Or just reach out to me for a personal conversation about how to do it wherever you are in life, because that's my mission. So please use the sign-up sheet. So I can think of no one better. This is where I hope that the technology is going to go, right? Yes? Okay, it's going to work, right? Okay. I can think of no one better to remind us of the beauty of our home and the value of protecting and saving us and our children and their children and their children and on and on. I am thinking, of course, of Amanda Gorman. Thank you for playing her word poem now, and thank you for taking action.
these walls or in these halls, all of us change makers, or in a spacecraft floating like a silver rock in space, and we see the face of a planet anew. We relish the view, we witness its round green and glowing blue, which inspires us to ask deeply, wholly, what can we do? Open your eyes, know the future of this wise planet is right in sight. Right in all of us, trust this earth uprising, all of us bring light to exciting solutions never tried before, for it is our hope that implores us at our uncompromising core to keep rising up for an earth more than worth fighting for.
I think I'm on, right? Yes. I hate to see this hour end. This has been wonderful. Thank you so much. Wow, I feel very emotional today. And so Alan and I are going to kind of finish up with some affirmation, which you all participate in. Okay. We, the people of the United Church of Gainesville, celebrate this beautiful land of sun and springs as a sacred natural heritage. We recognize that for thousands of years, this region had been cherished by the Timucua and other native peoples before them, whose names we don't know. As current stewards of this land, of these lands and waters, we pledge to restore and protect their integrity in honor of our connections to God, however known, to each other, and to the world around us.
We pledge to engage with the challenges of human-caused climate change and to overcome environmental injustice with global awareness and local action. We commit ourselves to be responsible stewards of the earth and of all creation.
We pledge to pursue clean energy, equity of resources, and systemic transformation. We commit ourselves to a vision of a restored earth, a balanced atmosphere, the prosperity of all creatures, great and small, and a new era of environmental justice.
In resolution that all life is interconnected, that we should care for and live in balance with all of creation, that abuses to nature cause deep exploitation and suffering, and that race, class, and global inequality cause some people to suffer disproportionately. The United Church of Gainesville covenants to appreciate the wisdoms and wonders of nature.
Educate ourselves and others on historical and timely environmental issues.
Connect in community with environmental justice allies.
Protect wilderness and biodiversity and support efforts for restoration and renewal.
Advocate for rules, laws, and deeds that benefit the environment and protect vulnerable communities.
Support and promote the safe, responsible, and equitable use and distribution of resources.
Decrease our use of fossil fuels and lower our carbon footprint.
Change our habits and choices in order to live more simply, humbly, and gentle on the earth.
We commit ourselves to these covenants and to monitoring our progress rigorously. Please join us in saying, therefore, be it resolved that the United Church of Gainesville declares itself to be a creation justice church and affirms its commitment to strive for peace and justice throughout creation.
We're going to play through the What a Wonderful World, and then invite you to stand if you're able to join in the singing.
You can sing sitting as well.
Oh, you got it, right? We'll play first, then you'll join me.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah.
Friends, let's give one more round of applause to everybody who made this day so wonderful. Thank you. Now, beloved, as you go from this place, go empowered by the sacred knowledge that our moment invites each and every one of us to the work of creation care and climate justice. May you be prepared to dare to be a part of God's future, our Earth's future, our future. Go in peace, joy, hope, and love. Amen.